Welcome to Jill's Sandwich Shop, where everything we serve is related.
And today on the menu, guys, we have the third Resident Evil 4 remake trailer. We are a bit late, actually. This was released a couple days ago, right, Tacho? I think
2 days ago now, I
yeah,
think,
2 days
right?
ago. We had a wild live reaction to to this
That was a good time.
ceremony.
The viewing
Oh my
party. Oh
gosh,
yeah.
it was so fun. We watched it with a few friends live, and at least for me, I was like just pacing around my living room. I was losing my shit. I was hyperventilating, dude. It was a good time. It was a
I
good
thought it
time.
looked amazing. Honestly, I was kind of surprised. It seemed like, well, one or two people weren't too hyped about it or something, but
Yeah.
I thought it was looking amazing.
I loved it. I know some people were saying, maybe it's a little too much. And there's a few things that have been revealed that I'm a little sad about in terms of spoiling us. So I don't know if we should include that in this video.
I'm sure everybody had to have seen it by now.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
no way we can't include it. All right, spoiler alert warning right now. Here we go. Now they're safe. They can keep listening at their own discretion.
Yeah, yeah. So there's like one main thing that is a spoiler. And before I'm gonna like kind of go over it or show it to you guys in the trailer, I will say, hey, skip ahead, so you don't have to worry about that. But that'll be there in case you guys don't want to get spoiled for the remake.
So I guess we should just do a little bit of breakdown of all the awesome things that we've seen going on in the trailer
Mm-hmm.
because there was just so much that we've seen, and I'd say one of my biggest hype factors is that this is one of the first games in a very long time, if ever, to actually listen to the fans where we say
Mm-hmm.
we want an HD remake, and what do? They make it HD and keep it the same game the way we want it. So it's looking like so far. We've seen a little bit of changes in the trailer, but nothing that would really make it a new game altogether or feels like what was it with like Resident Evil 2 remake, I believe it was. It just seemed like one of the art directors just took over a
Yeah.
few too many of the changes. No, Resident Evil 3, I'm sorry, because the clock tower being taken out and everything.
Mm-hmm.
That was just like, what's happening here, you know?
Yeah, I personally love the trailer too, and we'll break down our thoughts and analysis here in a second for you guys. But ready to go, Taicho?
Yeah, let's get
All
this
right,
going.
here we go.
You see, we are all connected.
So right here in this area, what I wanted to mention is, first of all, I know some people were hesitant and maybe a little scared about hearing Sadler's voice actor. What are your thoughts on that? Because this is the first time we've heard Sadler in all the three trailers we've got.
True. This is true. I've noticed that some of the voices were different. I don't mind if the voices are changed too much. I don't know. I guess that's more minimal for me as long as the voice acting is good. Like, I feel like there's just so many times I point out where it's just like it's just so cartoony. Like you don't really feel
Mm.
like you're in it, and it kind of confuses me. So as long as it's better than some of these modern games that are coming out with really cheesy voice acting, still, I'm not going to complain too much. Honestly, I'm more worried on the visual and story staying the same.
Yeah, yeah. I think I'd have to agree with that too. Personally, I am loving I love the Sadler voice actor so far. From what we've heard, in the three trailers, I would rate Sadler's voice actor as first for the performance out of like the other characters like Leon's, Ashley's. We still don't know who Ashley's actress is, so we're gonna have to wait on that. But so far for
Okay.
me, Sadler's voice is chef's kiss, dude. It's so good.
Yeah,
So
I
good.
don't think it's bad by any
Yeah.
means. Like it didn't bother me, it didn't stand out in a negative aspect by any means.
Mhm.
So I'm chilling on it.
Yeah, yeah. We're not sure where exactly this is, but it looks like Leon walking towards the ritual site or like a ceremony site where you see Ashley laying down without her jacket. So this could be much later in the game.
Yeah, it's what it's looking like.
Yeah.
I was curious what part this is too.
All connected through the holy body.
So right here, I know people were losing their mind over this. First of all, there is one, I don't know if it's like it looks like two zealots on the left and right side, and then you have one main zealot with the red robe. So I don't know if that's like a callback to, the zealots that wore that red kind of clothing and outfit in the castle. We haven't seen
Yeah.
any of them yet in the remake except for this one, so I'm wondering if this is like some sort of ranking system. Um,
Yeah, I'm curious too,
yeah.
especially because of them showing it more like a ritual. I'm curious if they'll actually give us like more insight
Mhm.
on, like why they are the way they are. Because there was some information in the notes and all that, but it was just kind of like very basic explaining the progression of how it happened to the town. I felt like I'm curious, like in what ways they change and how they act more, because it was, you see them acting out, fighting you, of course, but what was like behind closed doors with them? What were they doing on a regular when they weren't trying to kill you?
Yeah, yeah, that's a really good point. Do you have any guesses as to where in the game this is? Like, is it in the castle,
Yeah, I would
island,
think this is the
village?
castle for
You think
sure. I
so?
mean, I feel like that's when these dudes came out the most.
Yeah.
So it's very vague from the area, but if things are similar, this part kind of reminds me of like the first area when you're entering the castle. I'm trying to think, you come up to the big door, you encounter Luis, and then you split off, and then there's
Yeah.
that little building you go into that's got the windows, and they try to like come at you from both sides.
Mhm.
Yeah, that kind of reminds
Yeah.
me of that area.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. And the last thing I'm gonna mention is, and I don't know if this like a visual decision that they went with, but the blood on the ground and on the carpet, it looks kind of fresh to me. Like something was there and it got dragged. Like I don't know if you can see like the lines, but it really looks like something was laying down here and then it got taken away by whatever it is.
I'm curious
Honestly,
if it's supposed to be that head there,
yeah, it could
like did it
be.
happen and like it's because it exploded
Yeah.
open with whatever's going on with it?
And though to be fair, this chain right here on the left side, it's giving me Garador vibes. And we'll talk about the Garador in a little bit, but this could totally be the Garador like prison cell, if you want to call it that. And then maybe
Oh
these guys
yeah.
are just there. Maybe they're like previous prisoners, and they just stayed there until they were dead. I
Yeah,
think
that or
that's a
if it requires
possibility.
chancing maybe,
Yeah,
to if like they have to do like a ritual or something.
could be,
Who
could be.
knows? So many speculations to be made. That's why I like this. The one guy was saying, they're showing too much, but
Mm-hmm.
like they showed a lot of spaces, which I think they were trying to make us comfortable. Like, hey, there's a lot of familiarity. Don't worry too much. But then the
Mm-hmm.
stuff that was new, I felt was still very vague. So, but we'll move along with that. There's so many points we can point out.
Yeah. All right. Let's unpause.
when you need only accept this.
So here again, I don't think there is much to be said. This looks amazing, and as you guys can see from the spikes, this could only be one area, and it's right after Salazar, which in the classic OG Re4, he kind of presses a button and the
Yeah,
floor opens up and you go down and you only get saved by like a your grappling hook. So this is the area where if you hit that QTE, you get spiked by one of those totally not creepy looking spikes in there. So this is the area right before you fight the Verdugo. For me, it looks amazing. I love the lighting. I love how dark
yeah.
it is.
It's definitely a good setup for that,
Yeah.
the atmosphere of that area going up to that fight. That's for sure.
Yeah. And another thing I'm interested in is I in the original I always wondered how the hell did the merchant get to this area, because like as soon as you went down there was a save and he was just chilling like next to a spike. That didn't really make sense to me.
He's
So
always in the most random
yeah,
clutch spots.
yeah, yeah.
Got no business being there, but here he is with his arsenal.
I'm looking forward to seeing if he's gonna be in this area again, or maybe a little later than that.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it changes with him. And
All
then
right.
I was curious with this part. So, especially when you have it paused, in the original, the Las Plagas would pop out of their mouth with like the
Mm,
legs and everything as it was attacking you. So, one thing I'm curious about here is when you pause, it actually looks like an insect jumping onto its
mm,
back, but at the same time, it looks like its stomach is connected.
yeah.
So, is like it attacking with its like mouth? Is the mouth on the bottom, or is that gonna be the new Las Plagas evolution
Mm,
style where it comes out of the back, like spider leg, like that? Because that
yeah.
was kind of exclusive to the village chief guy super tall dude with the big beard,
The big
bald head.
cheese.
Yeah, yeah, big
Mhm.
cheese. Yeah, because that was like essentially exclusive to him, it seemed like, where it came out of his back with that many like spider legs, and that
Yeah.
happened right before he starts running around the ceiling or
Yeah.
climbing around rather. So I'm curious if they made it all around change with that there.
Yeah. I think that this frame pause is actually great because to me it looks like the Plagas is jumping into this like zealot's back as opposed to bursting out of it, which I
Yeah.
find really interesting. It's like jumping onto him and like right away controlling his spine and moving him forward. And I like that. I personally really like that. Because in the original, sometimes you would have I think it was like similar type of plagas coming out of the zealot's head, and then it would kind of crawl its way to you, and then you would have to shoot it separately. But with this one, it looks like it might just kind of latch on and
Yeah.
then cause them to move here. This is
Yeah, because
oh,
he's still running like that.
that's great.
So it seems like, yeah, it seems like it is a part of their movement.
Yeah, I cannot wait. I'm assuming it's gonna be a stronger version of the zealots that we're gonna have to face. So this next frame, what do you think about it, Taicho?
Seems like what we were seeing earlier, I think, in that first scene, now they're walking up to it. And it seems like this is the encounter with Sadler, which is kind of, I don't know. It's very interesting to see what's going on here because I don't remember anything like super up close where they were all together like this in the first one.
hmm
Like everything was
I
kind of
yeah.
split.
Yeah. I really like this actually because in the OG, like the first time you meet Sadler was, in the church and he gave you like some cheesy dialogue and it didn't really make sense to me.
Yeah,
Um
he was calling you on the codec and
yeah.
stuff, and it was just like, Why has he got my codec code?"
Yeah.
Like, it was very odd.
I don't think this is the first time that Leon meets Sadler. I think they do meet a little earlier because I would assume the first time you meet Sadler, he would actually have his like purple hood, like the robe, the hooded robe.
Yeah,
Um,
I do remember now in the church, that's the first time you're all together.
yeah,
That's the only scene they're all together. So is this the replacement for the church scene? Because you're
yeah,
right, that's when he has his hood up and then he reveals himself. So
right.
is this replacing that, do you think?
I don't think so, just because like in the next shot as well, you can really see that Leon looks infected, and by the time
Beat
you,
up.
yeah, he looks rough. Like he looks like his
Yeah,
Plagas
he's been
infection
there a minute.
is has progressed. Yeah. So and also the fact that Ashley does not have her jacket. So this is like
True.
way later in the game. A couple more things that I wanted to mention. This honestly I've heard some people saying like it looks like some sort of book and they're just, like it's like their ceremony book or they were doing a ceremony right before Leon came in. But this to me looks like some sort of puzzle, to be honest with you.
Think
And I'm
so?
really interested. Yeah.
It
And I
kinda
don't
makes me think of Village,
yeah.
for sure, something with Village, like, there were so many, like, ritual style books or, like, ancient history,
Mm,
books of, like, what was going on with them that were around, so I'm curious if, maybe it's a ritual book, maybe it's just something that gives more information about them, like, they have to read it, like, it's, like, scripture almost or something,
yeah.
who knows?
And obviously, we have to also talk about these two new enemies right here, because I think the first time we saw them was in the second trailer, and there was one next to Sadler who was hooded at the time, and it was holding his like Las Plagas staff, but it didn't have the Plagas from it. Like when the Plagas is like kind of connected to his staff and it moves
Yeah, yeah.
in the first trailer in the second trailer, excuse me, this enemy had the staff but the plagas itself wasn't moving, and now we can tell that there is two, so it's probably could be a bit a bit more in the game, but they are giving me like Verdugo vibes, but
Yeah, like,
for
they're his
Sadler.
own,
Yeah.
like, versions of them. Yeah, I'm very
hmm
curious what'll happen with them.
yeah.
Looking very ominous.
Yeah. And the last thing I'm gonna mention before we move on, because sorry guys, we love discussing this so much. I know we're still on 16 seconds, but there is a lot to be said here.
This is an
Uh,
advanced analysis.
yeah, this situation right here, and this like tombstone or whatever you want to call it, this screams trap to me. And that's why maybe I don't know, maybe like if you move Ashley or like, you do whatever or you try to escape this area, like this thing will fall down and kill the player. So that's really interesting.
Yeah, I'm like looking at where that's hanging over. I'm
Yeah.
curious if those spiky things are above the altar, above Leon, or
Mm,
above that tomb thing. It's not showing the shadow for it for the lighting, so I'm
yeah.
curious where it's at.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting to see.
I bet you that book thing you mentioned though, it's
Yeah.
gonna slide. There's gonna be like a ladder under that.
It's very possible, yeah. So here, briefly, I know some people were saying, "Oh, this is like a weird looking saddler." To me, it kind of reminds me of and it's been a while since I've watched it, but the Game of Thrones. Have you watched Game of Thrones?
I haven't watched it, but I know who you're talking about. The Ice King you're
The
gonna
Ice
say?
King. He looks like the Ice
Yeah.
King. I don't think
Kinda
anyone's
does.
mentioned it yet, but oh man, he's like the spitting image. But I do like the redesign. The situation on his head creeps me the hell out. I
Yeah.
don't know what's happening, but I love it. And I really like the touch they did with his eye color too. They
Yeah,
changed
his
it to make it
ears look
look
all
prettier.
nasty too. You see, it
Mhm.
looks like his ears are all like deteriorated or something.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. I want to not like it because it's gross, but
Yeah.
that's what makes it good is because like they just really made him a creeper. Like he's
Oh
just a
yeah.
creeper.
Yeah. And as you can see, like this is probably in the same scene that was in the frame before and kind of like Sadler maybe almost controlling Leon because I feel like it wouldn't make sense for Leon to like let Sadler get behind him like that. So maybe he's like a little restrained or, you know.
You never know. Leon is
Yeah.
good with his reflexes, though.
Yeah.
Like, well, if you think about the Krauser fight, he does that spin around with the knife, and I'm pretty sure that's when he cuts Krauser on the face.
Yeah.
So who knows? Maybe it's to his advantage.
Yeah. I'm really interested to see how that scene plays out.
So this scene coming up, I guarantee this is the part where you're just like, "Damn it, Ashley, you would run and get yourself caught again."
Mm,
So I think that this is when it looks like she's possessed. And
yeah.
I think that this is the part where she gets locked in those what do you call it? Against the wall. And
Yeah.
you gotta try to shoot the things off and then you run as her to like through that back area.
Mhm.
I'm guessing that's what this part is. It's gotta be.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to mention is pay attention to the knife, like how clean the knife is in this frame. And then when you go to the next frame, it has blood on it.
Does it? I didn't notice
Yeah,
that.
yeah, it has blood on it. So I don't know if it's the same scene or maybe she takes the knife. So what I'm saying is there's like a jump between the last scene where she drew the knife away from Leon and this scene. So she might have either like attacked him or like hurt herself in a way to kind of like make him not try to like restrain her.
I'm not gonna lie, I totally didn't even notice that the
Yeah.
knife is there in the bottom right, and you're right, it does have
Yeah.
blood on it. That's crazy.
My
I thought you were
prediction,
talking about it, like, right after this, you see
yeah.
it. That's wild, it's
That's why
right
it's
there.
weird. It's weird because the last scene there is nothing on the knife, and in this scene it looks like she either attacked someone, something, or herself.
Looks like
Uh,
she switched hands too, maybe, because now it's on
yeah,
the right side is like, on the it's on the right side now, and we're
yeah,
looking straight on as to where when we looked from the back, it was on the other
mm,
right side. Sorry,
yeah.
I had to think about how to say
No,
that.
it's fine. It's fine. I really quickly also I think this is my prediction, right? Like for all intents and purposes, maybe everything that I predict in this video not gonna happen. But I really think this is right after they meet with Salazar. The first time when he's like on that high platform and he's
You think
like,
so?
oh, like something something his grace. You remember from the second
Yeah.
trailer when he had like the two Verdugos on on his left and on his right and he was on a high
Yeah.
platform. I really think this is that. Um
Okay.
like
It does
right
kinda look
after.
castle-y in the
Yeah.
background too so far.
Yeah. And also one thing I've noticed in this trailer and we'll put it out later too. Those candles, they're like everywhere in the castle. So I feel like when you see a candle in the back, that's like a giveaway that we're in the castle still.
True,
which is really
true.
interesting. Last thing is if they kind of like cut that part where this is the portion in the game that Ashley like runs away and gets herself trapped. I don't see her running into that the three trap and just kind of like standing behind it because that was such a it was so stupid.
Yeah.
I feel like we were all screaming, at our TVs when she did that in the original and got herself trapped.
Oh, that's
But
for sure.
what I'm predicting for this time, if this is the scene she does run away, is she's gonna kind of like run this way, like up the stairs, and it's gonna like lock itself. I think that'd be much more plausible.
Could be. I could
Yeah.
see that.
Yeah.
I could see that for sure.
Mm-hmm. All right.
I'm very curious how her possession will go this time around.
Mm-hmm.
I
And
recognize this
oh
area.
yeah, this is that lift right before you kind of like go higher and fight Salazar for the boss fight. But I love this. I love their design. I like how different they look.
They look a lot more natural
Mm-hmm.
and creepier now, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And then you can see they still got the variants too. That guy that's right ahead of Leon, he still looks like the older ones. They
Mm-hmm.
look a little like younger almost though, I would
Mm.
say, because like I feel like the older like version, they looked like they were like older dudes. He's
Yeah.
like that guy on the right, I don't know, he looks like mid-age, but that dude with the cloak on, he looks like he's like in his early 20s.
Yeah.
What's he
And
doing there? He had so much life to live. Get out of there, man.
and the tattoos too look insane. They look really cool.
Right? Yeah, they got that like demonic vibe going
Mm.
on with it. We do
Yeah.
see some head split in here still.
Yeah. So this is the remember that Plagas where if you got close to it, it would literally chop your head off.
Oh yeah,
I think this is it.
it's gotta be.
Yeah.
And that other dude looks like that axe type one.
Hmm. And then you have
We get the
the castle
catapult
here,
scene,
which is
the
really
good old
cool.
catapult fight, and especially seeing the mercenaries announcement at the end. You know that's got to be probably brought right back. Oh wait
Yeah.
a minute, hold on. No, it's got to be a lighting effect. I was gonna say, you see that blue?
Yeah,
There's like
these are
two blue
emblems.
spots. Are they?
Yeah, there's two.
Okay, I wasn't sure
They're
if
just
that
so
was
cool.
what do you call that? Ambient occlusion
Yeah.
or if it was actual. Okay, so that is. All
Yeah.
right. Look at
So
that.
yeah, that goes to like how the merchant said, "Oh, like there would be kind of side quests." So this pretty much confirms that there will be side quests in the castle,
I
just
wonder
like
if
they
it'll
are in
be
the
3
village.
sets? Like, will there
Hmm.
be the original 2 sets still, or will this replace one of them? Or is
Mm.
it there gonna be, like, a set per area, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it'll be like one set per area. So maybe we'll have like 10 in the village, 10 in the whole castle, and then maybe like 10 in the island.
Could be because in Village, you had, like, the bird cages, that were laying around. That was kinda how you got your specials for that. Oh, look at
Hmm.
that, we got the yellow tape. I didn't notice that before.
The yellow tape again,
We're
and
gonna have to use the knife.
I that looks weird to me what Luis is holding in here because it doesn't like in the original he gives Leon and Ashley like pills to
Yeah,
help them
or
and
you have, like, the injector thingy or whatever, something like
this
that.
this doesn't look like pills really to me, so I have no idea what that is. What do you think this
I
could
mean,
be?
it might be, like, the syringe just, like, in a box, and
Mm,
he, like, wrapped it up and taped it to keep it secure or something. I
yeah.
could see it like that, like, he's trying to deliver the package, and he's like, "This is the package I'm trying to secure," or something like that.
Yeah, that could be it. That could be the syringe. Or it could be like this time around, whatever Luis gives Leon to help him suppress his infection is just like some sort of whatever is inside this box. So that's going to be interesting to see.
If you look at, like, a like, standard non-textured format, it
Mm.
also, in a way, kind of looks like C4. Highly doubt it's
Mm.
that. I don't think it would be untextured, but wildest case scenario, possibly it's like C4, you gotta plant on one of the doors to open it or something, like the
Well,
giant doors that get locked.
that's a really good point because this actually takes me like right into my next point, which where is this in the game?
Yeah.
And I think this pretty much starts where you maybe meet Luis right after the cabin fight that you have with him. And this to me looks like the mines, like the beginning of the mines where you go in there and you have to like turn the power on and then get a stick of dynamite and then put it on a boulder and blow up that boulder.
Yeah.
So this yeah, you bring a really like good point because this could be the C4 for that area.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm wondering because,
Yeah.
it has got like that strap thing. And so then all you would need to add is like
Mhm.
the timer device. So
Yeah.
it's possible. There's a lot of possibilities with that. I think they wanted it to be vague. Maybe
Yeah.
it is like a fake object that they put in,
Yeah.
like a stand-in object, and then we see the real one.
Yeah, and honestly, another prediction I have, just kind of like tied to what Luis is holding here. I don't think there's gonna be any sort of like infection suppressants in the remake. That's why the infection, like you see it really get really badly with Ashley and Leon.
Yeah.
So I can see just there's nothing there, that they have to haul ass to to get to the machinery that
Yeah.
cures them. I can see that happening.
That or like they think their only option is they got to get out quickly
Mhm.
because they need to make the antidote or get it so they can, produce more of it or something. Who knows?
Yeah, yeah.
This scene.
This is insane. I love
So
this.
you pointed it out. I did not even realize it at first when we were watching. Luis is here with you. He is
Yes,
supposed to be dead at this point. Why
I
is he here with
know.
you and why is he next to you? And you brought up something very interesting and hopeful.
Oh
Co-op?
yeah, dude. We were talking about how this could totally be Capcom just testing the waters for Sheva's AI because we know it was a problem in Resident Evil 5 and it was almost unplayable if you didn't have a friend with you because her AI was so bad. Which
That's for
brings
sure.
me to the point that it's very possible we're gonna be able to play co-op in the Re4 remake, and
'Cause
you
it
can
seems like
join
almost
as
every scene
Luis.
has 2 people, you know?
Yeah,
Almost every scene seems to have 2 people in a way. Oh, that'd be so killer.
I would love that. I honestly would love that. I would just join and play as Luis. I'd join random
Right?
lobbies and play as Luis and help out people.
And it's so cool that, like, you see him here still. Like, you
Yep.
pointed that out. I wasn't even thinking about the fact of how late it was and that that
Mhm.
was even him there. Like, I didn't realize it was him. I just thought it was somebody running around or something. And I was just like, wow, that's a change that I'm not even mad about. Like,
I
that's
love
like
it.
a minor tweak that I can accept. Like, that's cool as hell that he's in longer. Even if they kill him later, it's kinda cool at least that
Mhm.
he gets more story. Like, if he dies
Yeah.
at the end or something, like, I'll still be sad, but,
Yeah.
like, at least there's a chance for way more story and interaction.
Yeah. Just also quickly before we move on, you can see the platform kind of below the two El Gigantes. It looks like it can open, and it looks
Mhm.
like there is something. It's either lava or fire because of all the lighting. So I
Yeah.
think this thing here, I think is the lever to kind of pull that open. And I don't know if this is co-op and you can really join as Luis, it would be so fun for one player to act as the bait and the other player to just open that. It's
I'm
it would be
curious if
so
it's
good.
gonna be 2 people at the pull at the same time,
Mm,
because that if that's one thing that I could see being an issue, like you're mentioning with the AI.
mm,
So say if this is only I can see this being very irritating if
mm.
his AI isn't getting to the lever in time.
So it could be maybe one, this lever here, and there could be another lever on the other side then. Maybe not
Yeah.
the same one. Could be
I'm
that too.
hoping that if it is like that, I'm hoping that there's like some sort of what would you say? Like command queue thing you could say, like run over there or
Right.
like pull it now or something like that,
Mm.
so he knows to run to it too.
That would have been awesome actually. Uh, because I feel like they would have had like something on the bottom right corner, similar to what they have for Ashley maybe.
Yeah, so
But,
I'm
to
curious
like
with that.
follow or attack or whatever the commands would be for Louise, but
Yeah, because there's no,
yeah.
like, running symbol or anything like there
Yeah.
was for Ashley, so I don't know.
Mhm.
I'm doubting that there's gonna be co-op, but we can be hopeful, right?
Yeah, we can be hopeful for sure. And the last thing I'm gonna mention about this scene is I really love this Verdugo's design, the armored one.
Yeah, the changes to
Incredible.
them, that's exactly the changes to make when you're doing these
Mhm,
remakes. Don't change the whole freaking game.
mhm.
Resident Evil 3 remake. Terrible. So this is just they did it so well in this one, and it just has me so much more excited and hopeful. They kept the original design without changing it too much, while still changing it
Mhm.
too much, but not too much. Like it's awesome. It's great.
You put it perfectly.
The
Just
next scene is big hype too.
oh yeah, let's
It's
hear it.
another one of not too much change in familiarity.
Ooh, this
Boom,
one.
Chainsaw Sisters. They're
Let's
back.
go. The
I
Bella
totally recognize
sisters.
this area.
Yeah.
I I love and hate this area so much. It is like people said this wasn't as scary of a game, and I can agree to an extent because it was a lot of action, but like
Was it 3 or 2 of them? 2 Bella
there's
sisters or 3?
I'm pretty sure there's 3, isn't there? There's the main one that jumps in that has the key and then 2 more come out after, I think, right?
See, I never picked that pathway because I was like, "I am not going there. I'm just gonna, like, shoot down the boulder on the El Gigante and just move forward." But you know what's interesting, though? I don't think that's that area.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think it's the two pathway, area, and I'll tell you why. Number 1, Luis is with you, which, I mean, you could argue, okay, this is, like, really close to the
Damn, he is
cabin,
there.
right?
What the hell? I have
Yeah.
not been noticing that he's in all of it.
It's right
He
here.
just keeps, like, blending in with the
Look at
enemies
this
because he's
kick.
wearing such dark
Oh,
clothing.
did you see that kick? It just kicks the shit
That
out
is
of her.
incredible. That is incredible.
But here's my reasoning for this is number 1. This area right here, like this sort of like this X design on the metal.
It looks underground a little bit, eh?
Yeah, it looks exactly like the scene where like earlier that we dissected where Luis is holding the white container with the yellow tape. So I think this is like an extension of that area.
So
Um
maybe they're not doing, the Doctor Salvador as much.
I
They're
don't think
adding her in it, like,
yeah.
a bit too.
My next point, which could explain to you what you just said. Do you see? I don't know what this is called, but this was in the mine area, in that dynamite area. It was
Yeah.
right in the middle in the same area. And if you remember, in that
True.
portion of the game, there was a Dr. Salvador that came down.
True.
So I
Yeah.
think this is an opportunity for them to kind of like,
The
um,
dynamite cart area.
yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
think, I think instead of having Dr. Salvador here, they're using one of the Bella sisters, or maybe just one Bella sister. We're not gonna have multiple ones. But I think this is where it's
Interesting.
at because this is a literal it's not, a reused asset, but it's the same, but remade.
Yeah, same concept.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I'm really
yeah.
excited about these environments. Like
Mhm.
they just look so nice. It looks so familiar, but so much more beautiful. Like,
Mhm.
they did there's everything right on this one so far. It's looking like I'm so
Perfect.
hyped. I'm so hyped.
Perfect. All right. So here, um,
This was the only iffy part.
well, this is where that spoiler that I was talking to you about comes in. So we can kind of like let the viewers know if you guys do not want to be spoiled about a major character death, you can skip ahead. And I don't even know if you know about this Taicho, but if you don't want me to talk about it, you don't want to be spoiled. So right here, and skip ahead if you don't want to be spoiled, obviously, as we said earlier. But before Krauser jumps down, there is a body on the floor with a knife on its back and the body looks dead. And this body is wearing Luis's jacket. It looks like Luis is lying on the ground. He's not moving. He has his hair, it's the pants, it's the jacket, it's Krauser's
That's
knife.
so quick. That's
Yeah.
crazy. Man, you
So
caught so much stuff. That's wild.
I was really disappointed with this one. Number one, because I really wanted Luis to survive, especially how much he's involved. It looks like he's involved in the remake.
I mean,
Um,
hey, Ada is always working in the background, and she does show up in this scene at one point, so
yeah.
who knows? Maybe she, like, saves Luis,
That's what
you
I'm hoping
know?
for. I
Drops
am
in with her
praying for that.
little, hook shotgun.
Mm,
Pew pew.
that
Zip line in and out.
oh, I really hope that happens because so far from the trailers, and I know I feel like I have like a lot of controversial opinions because I said Sadler's voice actor is so far the best, and now I'm about to say another thing is I feel like Luis is gonna be my favorite character in the remake, straight up.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, he was always awesome in the first one. I
yeah,
mean, really the only thing that made him not stand out as much is because 'cause he's gone so quick, you
mm-hmm,
know? Like, he's just you get only, like, brief glimpses of him. That's why I think it's gonna be so much more awesome that he is a bigger part of the story. Because I feel like, they mentioned that in an interview a long time ago. They said that they were planning to have him be a bigger part.
yeah,
So I'm just curious if they noticed how hyped we were that they said that and
mm-hmm,
they made him an even bigger part, you know? Like
mm-hmm,
that would be excellent.
yeah. We'll see,
Long
but
time.
so here, one thing I wanted to mention is in the original, when you first meet Krauser, he kind of like slices Leon's cheek, and it doesn't really happen
True.
here. So
That is my only complaint about this game so far is Krauser literally just looks like Mikhail's like brother, younger brother.
yeah, I can see it a little bit. I
It,
feel
it
like
threw
if
me
he,
off when I seen him at first. I was
mhm,
like, "What is that Krauser? Is that
mhm.
Mikhail?"
I can see that a little for sure. But I don't know. I know some people were saying they don't really like his voice. For me, it's fine, honestly, because if it was too similar to the OG, then it wouldn't really be a remake. Like you want things to be different. You want things to be fresh and you want things to sound different. But maybe maybe that's just me.
One
Um
interesting there too is
yeah.
he calls him Agent Krauser
I think it's
instead of
actually
just like
major.
saying his name or Major. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's like instead of like I don't know. It's interesting that he referred to him in like a professional sense
Mhm.
as compared to like familiar before, you know, because they worked on missions together and they were like
Yep.
friends. It seemed like so. I'm curious why a more formal like introduction this time. You know, I
Yeah.
wonder if that changes the story or how it'll play into it.
Yeah, man, I just feel like if that spoiler that we did mention earlier, for those who skipped to this point, we're not gonna say it again. But because of that thing that we noticed
Mhm.
right before Krauser jumped down to meet Leon, I feel like killing or fighting Krauser is gonna be so much more like rewarding, like you're gonna want to kill him. Because in
Yeah.
the original you were like, who the hell is this guy? He kidnapped Ashley, okay, whatever. Now you're gonna have some like, dislike towards his character.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, I didn't really like him much in the first one either, just
Mm.
because he posed such a threat to my good buddy Leon here. You know, he's like backstabbing him when they were
Yeah.
buddies. I was like, "Oh, you traitor!" He was one of my least favorite bosses, I guess is the way to word it. Like, I did not enjoy the Krauser fight. It was just such a headache for me. Like, it's not like it was like too difficult. It was unprofessional, but like I don't know. The second battle just always drove me crazy. It was the biggest part I did not look forward to.
Mm.
So I'm curious how it'll be in this one because, yeah, I don't
Yeah, I'm
know.
excited for that. We'll see how that is.
Yeah,
Um,
the first one gave me too much of a headache, so I'm hoping
yeah.
this one's better.
I really like his outfit design because I feel like in the original he wore a shirt like literally identical to Leon's, like that like
Yeah,
tactical white t-shirt. Or actually not white, like black or like dark
yeah,
gray
like
t-shirt.
grayish.
And
Yeah,
this one is looks a little more tactical. It's almost like a long vest. And here we have the
We
beloved
can't sit
water room, which
yes.
I love the water room. I don't know why so many people hate it. I love
It's
it.
because
I love
trying
it.
to save Ashley while she's on them and the people are on the
It's so
platform and
fun.
up there, it makes it so difficult on professional mode.
Mhm.
Like on the normal, it's not too bad. I don't mind it that much, but on professional, I'm just like, oh my God, can we please just end this scene, please?
Yeah.
Because like I would get so panicked too on controller that like I would always accidentally shoot Ashley, or like if you're using the sniper rifle, the rounds go through the enemy. So even
Mm,
if I hit the enemy, I would like hit her hand or her head on the other side of the enemy and kill her.
mm,
So like, and it would suck because there would get to a point I was out of so much ammunition, I had to use the sniper rifle, and I just
yeah.
kept killing her on accident. So that was why I like the area, but I hate the area.
Oh man, I like it. Hopefully it won't be too hard. But we see the shield wielding zealots with the little whatever this is, like spike ball.
Yeah.
um
Oh, the mace.
yeah, the mace, and then you have, you know, the candles that I was mentioning earlier that are, I feel like they are a classic giveaway of like castle, like they scream now castle to me.
Yeah. And look
And
at that weapons menu too. I hadn't
yeah,
really looked at that before, but it's interesting to see the weapons.
yeah.
So we
Yeah, the
see
broken
the
butterfly here.
yeah, we got the riot shotgun.
Mhm.
We have the I think that's the
Silver
Punisher that you unlock because it looks like it's either the Blacktail or the Punisher.
could
And
be.
it, but it depends if they're like super accurately modeling it or not.
Yeah,
And
and
then you've got
this one's the TMP. Flash
the
grenade.
regular grenade, and then
Mhm.
we got the sniper rifle, which looks more upgraded. So it looks like the second sniper rifle, but it looks like it's a newer type.
It's the auto
The semi-auto, yeah,
yeah,
the non-bolt
semi-auto.
action.
Mhm.
And then below it, see, that's what I'm wondering
That's the
below
new
it. Is
one.
that
That's the new
the
crossbow, which Leon just shot on the ground right here.
oh, interesting.
And
That's
then
the
it kind of blows
crossbow.
them up.
Okay.
But it looks like it doesn't actually blow up the shield,
I wonder if that's
which
gonna
is crazy.
replace the mine thrower to make it more realistic then.
I think probably, yeah. It could just be an addition, but I can see that for sure.
I always loved getting the mine thrower. I avoided it at first. I didn't like it, and then like as I played more and more,
Mm.
I started loving using that thing, just throwing mines everywhere.
Yeah. Here you see the zealots attacking Ashley.
That's
A
where I accidentally
suplex.
shoot her 20
Let's
times.
go. Look at
Dude, a
this suplex.
suplex being back is gonna be great.
Ooh, so good. So good.
And then we got when she's trying to escape, one of those like 3 times you get to play as her.
My only complaint about it in the original was it was too short. I would have loved if it was a little longer.
Yeah, yeah,
Because all
those
you had to
puzzles were
do,
legit.
yeah, all you had to do was just like, you know, kill a couple enemies or even just kind of trap them.
Uh-huh.
So I'm curious to see how that goes. And honestly, I want the same puzzle. And
Yeah, that's my
just keep
favorite
the puzzle.
puzzle.
It is
And
it's
if
actually
they
mine
get
too.
rid of it, I'm gonna be so mad. That's my
Yeah.
favorite.
I would love that. One interesting thing is you know, with those lanterns where you would pick them up in the original and you would have to throw them, like you wouldn't be able to take them and move them with you. But
Yeah,
in this trailer, it looks like one, they're blue, so they don't really have like whatever it was used, like an oil or some sort of thing to light up the fire. This looks blue. So this is like
yeah.
strictly a light source lantern that you're holding.
It looks like it's
And
supposed to
it's a
be like one of
library.
those modern LED
Yeah,
ones.
it looks like
The
that too.
blue dot on the back is weird because the fact that it's projecting so much out of the front, that blue dot really throws me off.
And then here, oh, look at that in the back.
Yeah,
Look
yeah,
at that.
you got the freaking knights coming through, coming to kick your
With the
ass.
pliers in them right
Yep.
away.
I'm wondering if that's at the final part then after you get the piece and you awaken all of them and you're
After the
trying to
puzzle.
yeah.
Honestly, maybe this is controversial, but I would really like it if they're there from the beginning and you have to stealth your way through. Like you have to stealth your way to the puzzle, you do the puzzle, and you stealth your way out.
Yeah,
I'd
that'd be
like that.
super
Yeah.
interesting. I'm curious how they'll do it because that's an area that I definitely could use some changes on where it's like it would be better if there was more of it.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And here
Or
we
like
see enemies throwing shit. We see the evade, which is
it's cool
crazy.
that you can do the duck. That's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. And then, of course, the water room classic. The only difference here is instead of it being a crank, it's kind of like a, what would you call that? Like a wheel. So that's interesting. It's literally identical because you have kind of like this step that was in the original, and then
Yeah.
you can probably catch Ashley from like this side or to the right of the screen. All right, so in this scene, it looks like we're still in the castle here. My prediction is this is where Ada comes in. In the second trailer, we hear her say, "Oh, like leave the girl. She's lost no matter what." So I really think that we're gonna get an interaction between all three characters, Leon, Ashley, and Ada, in the same room, even if it's like super brief. And then maybe this is right after Ada leaves, and then Leon's maybe like reassuring Ashley, like, "Hey, we'll get through this together. Like, don't mind her or something."
Don't
That's
worry about that
yeah,
crazy demon parasite growing in your body.
yeah. That's where I think that is.
Then come, Sancho Panza. Let us rescue the Princess Dulcinea.
I think this is my favorite part, by the way, in the trailer.
Seeing them teaming up.
Yeah.
Then he makes that little joke.
And then Mike here. Let's go.
Yes. I was happy to see this part
Mhm.
too, just like, because that was like, this part especially is just like the biggest affirmation of like, yes, we're keeping it true. Like
Mhm.
every little random detail,
Yeah.
even the super cheesy action hero helicopter coming in, like
Mhm.
as cheesy as it was, I didn't like dislike the part at all. It was still, I was like, hell yeah. Got my
Yeah.
fire support, my buddies in, gonna get drinks after.
Mhm.
Also, another weapon change, new weapon there. Look at that. They got
Yep.
the MP5.
Also, I think for the TMP, I don't know what it was earlier, but I believe like the max like magazine capacity you could have was like 150 or something, and this is clearly like 83. So
Yeah.
it cannot be, unless it gets worse after you
83.
upgrade.
That's such a random max number.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to mention as well before I move on is here, it looks like you have Krauser's knife.
It looks like a knife
Yeah.
with a damage bar too. So like,
Yeah. Yeah.
is it not infinite?
No, I guess, I mean, we already knew that the like Leon's original knife, Marvin's knife, I believe, is what it is. Um, it had like durability, so you'd have to like upgrade it or fix it with the merchant. But this pretty much confirms that Krauser's knife is also not gonna have limited or unlimited charges. The more you use it, it's kind of like the Re2 remake
Yeah.
knife. Whereas in Re3 remake, it was infinite, but in Re2 you had to be careful with your knife usage.
See, re 3, I like that it was a little bit more infinite just because, like, I mean, you can use a knife a lot before
Mm.
that thing is gonna break. I mean, I get like they have stronger bodies, but I mean, like, a knife is strong,
Yeah, I can see that because I'm a knife lover myself, so I always just enjoy slicing without any penalty.
right?
So in this scene, the minecart, which looks insane. This looks like a whole roller coaster, dude. Like it looks like you're in Disneyland and you're just freaking having fun with Louise with like just like two chainsaws chilling on the left and right.
Hey,
It
Universal
looks
Studios
insane.
Orlando, pick this up as your next attraction. You heard it from
Dude,
us
a
first.
Resident Evil 4 remake attraction. Make it
How to send
happen.
on 2% of the profit, none of the liability.
Yeah. Make it happen.
Right.
A couple things to mention here is it looks like the minecart actually has like a health bar, and then the red 9 is infinite in here.
Wonder if
So
it's just in that scene or if that's an upgrade or
I don't know. I
see.
feel like maybe this is either Capcom saying, hey, you can get infinite ammo on your first run through. Like somehow, maybe it's like with emblems, or if you get all the side quests up until this point, you can unlock some
Yeah.
sort of infinite ammo. Or this just could be, New Game Plus, and you did whatever the requirement was to get infinite
Oh
ammo.
my god, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
What?
Look who's in the cart with you in the front.
Yeah, that's Louise.
And the gun you're using. That's his
Right there.
gun.
Yeah.
So what if this is showing you controlling Luis?
Wait, no, no, no. Actually, that would have been amazing, but there is a scene like in the next couple seconds that debunks that. Leon is
Because
shooting.
He
He's
does have the
he's
red 9.
aiming.
I thought the gun
Yeah,
looked different.
and then when he
If you watch
shoots,
it fast, it looks like a deagle
yeah,
almost.
and when he shoots,
Eh,
it goes to 9 bullets from 10.
Yeah.
So, that would have been
Bummer.
sick though. I would
Why'd
have
you
loved
have to
that.
break my heart
I
like that?
would
I think it looks interesting too because it looks like there's a little bit more with the enemies, like involvement there as well. Because it looks like they're more active, like on the carts against you. So
Mhm.
I'm curious to see how that'll play out. Man, there's just so many cool little ways they change this that's gonna make it epic.
So good. So good.
I feel like they listened more about what we wanted from Resident Evil 1.5 to be in the 2 remake for
Mhm.
this game than they did for the 2 remake.
Mhm.
'Cause, like, there's more of, like, another character following you around, it seems like,
Yeah,
and just, like, way more interactivity. I don't know. I'm really excited.
for sure, for sure. After this area, I have no idea where they're going, to be honest with you. It looks like there's a pathway here that you can take.
Yeah, it's probably gonna
Um,
be the scene where you jump off. I'm guessing they're
yeah,
probably gonna land on the platform, or
yeah,
one is just gonna miss and the other pulls the other up.
yeah, and this is like sort of a bridge too that could maybe go left and right. So that's an interesting area to see too, because in the original you would jump and it was like a an endless pit pretty much, and you would have to
Yeah.
kind of go up. And there was only one pathway to take after that, which is really interesting. All right, right here, I just made myself realize something. In the back, do you remember in the beginning of the trailer where we were talking about that ceremony
Yeah.
trap looking thingy with whatever it was, and it looked like a tombstone? So I don't know if this is like after Leon escapes the area or like right before you see Sadler, and then he kind of like walks down
Yeah.
and takes control of you.
And I'm
Also,
curious what the scene it links into as well after, because, like, is that the final level with his last
oh, this one?
evolution? Or
This one?
is that supposed to be Salazar?
Some people were saying this is Salazar's era. Some people were saying this could be the final boss, which honestly,
This
after
looks more
after
like
what
Salazar.
after what Capcom showed with that the character death that we talked about earlier,
Uh-huh.
I wouldn't be surprised if they spoil the literal final boss. I hope it's not, because this
'Cause,
what
like,
this looks like to me is it looks like it's still in kind of like the mine area because you have like a mine cart here. This could
I see
straight
the minecart, which throws me off, but then if you look to the right, you see the red light, that looks like
yeah,
those buttons you gotta hit, and then you have those beams right there, and that's
yeah,
what you
these
would
things.
swing into him, but he wasn't that untamed at the end. Like, he was like a big old beast boy, but he wasn't like that wild. That looks closer to Salazar, but this doesn't really resemble the Salazar area
Yeah,
necessarily either. Like, there was that distance between you two, but like it didn't look like that big of a depth around it. Plus, the final
yeah,
level's supposed to be up against the ocean, and that looks like it's inside like a cove area.
yeah. It's like underground. It's very dark. It honestly, to my prediction is this is probably the Novistador hive. But I don't know. But I don't see them
Oh.
flying. I feel like if it was a Novisitor hype, we would see one of them like randomly hidden somewhere. But I don't
It
see any
does
of them.
look like that though, now that you mention those little, or now that you mention, because those yellow dot things were, that's what you had to shoot on them to make them like fall off of the ceiling, remember?
Yeah, but I think that is actually I'm getting an idea because I know in later in the remake you see the like little plagas because like inside a rock or like an orange crystal thing, and I think this is just where the all the plagas are. Like maybe this is just a completely new area in the mine, and they're telling you, okay, this is where they get them. This that could be another thing too. And honestly, this minecart, it just looks like how you get down and you get up. Like there's no elevator, dude. This is your way out. Which I don't know.
I'm
Could
curious because it's very unclear what that is supposed to be. Like, you can make a lot of speculations about what it
yeah.
is for sure. Is it a hive? Is it the actual enemy?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Only time will tell.
This is true.
Hmm. And oh my god, the Garrador here. This. Okay, hold on.
That
I
first few
I think.
flashes of him, that's how I feel when I wake up in the morning. Just like, "Oh, I gotta do this again."
Remember earlier when we were talking about the little ritual with the one zealot wearing the red robe and the two zealots next to him? And I said
Yeah, oh, yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
kind of looks like the Garrador area. I think this literally confirms my theory because it's the same chain. So maybe, do you see this chain right here?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think this
It's
is
got the
literally
same
the
little
same
hook
area.
thing.
Yeah, I think it's the same area. It could be kind of like the same prison cell, or maybe a completely different cell for this guy, for the Garrador.
Yeah, I
Um,
could see that. Maybe they're, like, put in there for him,
yeah,
to,
to
like,
eat
mess
or
up or eat,
whatever.
yeah.
Also, it looks like his mouth is being forced open as well. The Garrador, I mean.
Yes, the time has
Yeah,
come.
because it was or was it showed or no, it wasn't so shut in the first one, was it?
Yeah, see, it looks shut. Sorry, excuse me. No, it looks open, like it's kind of
Yeah.
forced open with the metal mask thing that
So
he's
he's
being
got it,
held.
like, hooked open this time.
Yeah. And even in this shot, it looks kind of open too. And you can see the parasite in the back too. It's crazy, crazy stuff.
Honestly, like, they're cool, but for me, they were excitement because that was my acknowledgement that I'm close to the regenerators, and that was always my favorite part of Re4.
Yeah, I cannot wait. And honestly, maybe this is just me, but I don't want to fight all the additional Garradors. Like, one was like in the cage where like the cage drops on you and then the Garrador pops in. And then there was another in the castle where it was two.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't want. I
true.
kind of don't want that, to be honest. We don't need that. We only need one Garrador. So this next scene, look, it could be towards the end of the game. Number one. Number two, it could be right after you skip from Sadler from the beginning. Like with that the ceremony site. And it
Yeah.
could be where this is right after that. Because you can see like Ashley's still unconscious. She is struggling. And on the door, or outside of it, I should say, there is like three like symbols, and it's green. So this tells me that this is maybe where she is held on the island. And the first time where, do you remember when you go there and then like you watch her through the monitors, the multiple
Yeah.
TVs, and she's kind of like screaming for help.
That's what I
Um,
was wondering too, if that's when
yeah,
they first get her or if this
yeah,
is after the injection. And then the other part, it's funny because I always forget about this part somehow. But remember when you get on that like super giant, but
like a
it's like,
truck.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you have like those back areas that you go through before you
Mm-hmm.
jump down like that giant trash chute.
Mm.
It
It
kind
could be
of
that.
reminds me of that area too, just because of like how the walls and everything look.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely gives me those vibes, but I mean, then again, that's all island stuff, so presumably
Yeah.
this has gotta be the island area. That's when you start
Yeah.
seeing stone like this.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because I don't know if like at this point of the game, like we leave Ashley there and we get out and we know we have like the key to however we open this. Then we get her back, or maybe this is like I said, we get to the island first, we open the door, and then we get her. But it honestly, it just looks like right after the Sadler scene, so they're just kind of running away and catching a breath.
Yeah, it could
Yeah,
be.
yeah.
And then
This,
this was one of
oh,
the huge things. You see that you have the quick time
mhm.
cutscenes again.
So good, so good. And you
Oh,
can
there you
see
go, knife
the knife.
durability
Yep.
confirmation right there.
And then an evade right here. That is just so cool. I'm kind
It's
of
gonna
like
be
paying attention
intense.
to the environment and not really seeing anything. I love the spin thing that Krauser does here.
The little spin attack.
And I don't know if the player playing actually was able to evade this attack, but it looks like it took a little bit of the health, so I don't think they did. This
Maybe
looks
evade does just a little less
could
damage.
do, yeah, Could do. This one, it's either in that room like that we were just talking about a little bit earlier,
Yeah.
or on the ceremony platform itself.
Yeah, it's hard to tell the background. You can
Yeah,
see
this
it's
looks like a
lighter.
pillow. So,
Oh, yeah, almost.
yeah, I don't know. But
Yeah,
one
I
thing,
think it is that same room.
yeah, one thing I wanted to mention is I haven't heard anyone talk about this, but the necklace that Ashley is wearing, it looks like an eagle, which goes goes really nicely in hand to hand with her nickname being Baby Eagle when Hunnigan and Leon are talking to each other. So that's pretty cool.
Baby eagle.
hmm This is Luis, which looks like the double El Gigante fight in here.
Yeah,
hmm
that platform on his back.
Yeah, and it looks like a very very lit area, some sort of lava
Could be.
lava thing
It's just
going.
not there's not like an orange tint, which is the only thing that makes it seem like it might not be, but it could
hmm
just be because he's like so close to it that it's that bright on him.
hmm
Who
Yeah,
knows?
yeah.
Because he seems very active in this game. So, I mean, this could be anywhere, honestly.
And another thing I wanted to mention about Luis is I feel like his jacket is underrated. That's all I'm gonna say. I feel like everyone's just obsessed with Leon's jacket, but we're forgetting Luis's jacket, dude. This is
Quick
pretty cool
time.
here. I don't see anything in the back, really.
Quick time
Um,
confirmed.
this thing here, I think it says like death something. I can't tell what this word is, but it could be like his new organization that he's working for, um, or something like that. But as you can see here, like your knife is already less than halfway. So it looks
Yeah.
like this fight really goes on for a long time.
Well, his knife was taking some decent stamina cuts, even
hmm
just on those blocks too.
Yeah,
So I'm curious, like, if you have to have a few knives ready or what.
yeah. This looks like where the plagas are gonna be extracted from.
Yeah, because it looks like they got all the little like embryo things that are in
Yep.
there.
hmm
It's
And
totally they look like alien.
yeah, they do. And I think there's another screenshot that was released like right after the trailer, where it's showing Sadler standing right in front of this actually.
Oh, was
So
it?
yeah, and it was this kind of I don't know, like piece of cloth kind of covering it. So that's gonna be
Okay.
yeah, that's there's something with this. I don't know how it's gonna work with this plot twist thingy. Um, but this piece of whatever it is, like it looks like they're on in swimming in lava. Honestly, that's what it looks like to
It reminds me of like in Jurassic Park when they get like solidified in the
me.
embers or whatever.
Yeah. I don't know, it's just crazy. Maybe there's gonna be a new twist about the plagas being resistant to fire, and that's why they've been able to survive in like a hot environment, maybe?
Could be.
Could be. As opposed to just being like a fossil underground. I don't know, that's kind of stupid. Ooh. Okay, so you can
He's
see
got the
here
pendant on him.
the pendant, yeah. And you got the little servant that we were talking about earlier right here.
Oh
And
yeah,
then
right over his shoulder there. Yeah.
mhm. And then you have the little tombstone again. So this is the exact same scene that they've used pretty much like 3 times now in the trailer.
It's funny if you pause it at the right time on
Mhm.
155, you can see the back of his hair more, and
Yeah.
it looks like he like forgot to wash shampoo out of his hair.
Man.
Like I have this pause perfectly on my screen, and it looks like he's
Right?
like, "You got me out of the shower for this."
This one?
Yeah, you see, it looks like it's just like shampoo in your hair before you
Oh,
wash it out.
that looks insane,
Somebody
dude.
rings the doorbell, you gotta go answer the door really quick.
Oh, so good. I love his new design. One thing I'm gonna say is I feel like it's gonna be really fun to cosplay as Sadler. Like just
Yeah,
imagine all the like the makeup that you have to do to make the back of his his head really cool.
yeah. It's gonna
Um
be hard to keep the shower suds in all day.
yeah. Now the staff looks sick. I love it.
Yeah, they did a good job on that. They
Yeah.
definitely upgraded its look, but yet kept it true to its original, that's for sure. And it
And
definitely has village vibes.
mhm. Lots of overlap, honestly, with the assets, and story isn't similar, but there are some similarities between.
I think they wanted to make it flow more naturally. It seems like they're trying to keep the new direction they went, but they're trying to like make it blend in better. I
Mm,
mean, I don't know, because that's the thing is four is such a love hate. It's definitely one of my favorite Resident Evils, but not my top favorite. But like, it just sucks because four was such an awesome game, but it's what completely killed what I loved most about Resident Evil. Because after that, we lost zombies, and then we just got all these super weird enemies, and I don't
mm,
know. I didn't even like the direction seven went. So like I liked
mm,
seven, but I didn't like the direction it went. So I'm curious how they're gonna try to lead to it. I'm still not gonna love it, but I'm curious to
yeah.
see how they try to like naturalize it better through these stories.
Mm,
And I feel like with a lot of the imagery that we're seeing here, that this game is going to heavily influence how that transition came into play in the bioweapons.
yeah, it's gonna be really interesting to see how they're gonna link this with 2, 3, and whatever else games we're gonna get. You see, our first and only glimpse of Ada in this in this whole trailer. We still don't know if she's wearing a dress or if she's wearing like pants or whatever it
Like in
is.
six, it looks
Yeah.
closer to a Resident Evil 6 outfit, honestly,
Mm-hmm.
because
I,
she's got the red like turtleneck, and then it would seem like she'd have those black like leather pants on or
mm-hmm.
whatever.
It does kind of look like that, but I do think they're gonna keep her not the literal dress, but they're gonna obviously it's still red, and I do think it's gonna be more of like a sweater dress, so it's more appropriate for the weather at that time.
It was a
But
little cold out there.
yeah, again, this looks like the same scene. The scene at the ceremony with Sadler, his two disciples, or whatever you want to call them, Leon and Ashley
Her
being
voice
protected.
sounds a little weird.
I I know some people were saying they don't like it, but for me, I'm just gonna have to like hear like play the game and hear all of her lines and then go from there because sometimes the delivery of one line can I don't know, it's not enough. You gotta hear a little more.
Yeah. I feel like they always change her voice actor, though. I feel like it's never a consistent Ada voice.
Yeah, they have the whole thing with the union voice acting. Here you see again, I feel like they really focused on that one scene, haven't they? The one scene at the ceremony site, and it's like they kind of chopped it up and took all the scenes from it and they just put it like
Yeah.
randomly in the trailer and everyone's like hyped as heck. But this is probably right before Ada shows up and saves the day, I think.
True.
Yeah. And the new Beastador. Oh,
Got our little
so
buggy
good.
boys.
Yeah. And also, I don't know where this is, but I mean, you can see Sadler's staff right here. So
True.
we've never seen Sadler interact in any way with the new Visitors, so it's going to be really interesting to see. And there's a lot of
Yeah.
fire. There's explosions, so this could be where Mike meets his demise. Maybe, honestly, maybe Mike gets killed this time by a new visitor as opposed to a stupid rocket launcher. I
Yeah,
could
maybe it
see
like
that.
flies up and brings the helicopter down.
Yeah, maybe
Which
it's
is
like a
interesting too. They were around Salazar more than Sadler.
yeah.
So like I'm curious what way that might play into it.
Yeah. I love Mike. Obviously, we want to avoid his death if possible, but if he has to die, I think it'd be interesting to see a Novicidor doing the job as opposed to a random Ganado,
Yeah.
literally with a rocket launcher. And then here, this is towards the end of the game, like you're just hauling ass. This could be after the room. This could be actually going into that room that we were talking about earlier, if you remember, with the three kind of key lights.
Yeah, yeah.
So this could be them going to there, or it could be them,
And
like,
that background kind of reminds me or oh no, those are pipes.
yeah,
So yeah, that's probably after the well no, because he's still infected there. So they've gotta be maybe that's him getting them to the room to get them uninfected.
yeah, like running towards the machine.
Yeah, because he looks
Hmm.
heavy. Yeah, and then because then if you look at the next scene shows the chair.
Yeah,
So it's probably that. And I can see it clearer now. Unfortunately, definitely no regenerator in that chair. It's an empty
dude.
one. So it's yeah, that's gotta be them collapsing into the room to get it taken out.
I know in our first watched that we were doing this with a few friends, I was losing my shit 'cause I thought there was something in the background that was twitching, and I thought it was a
Yeah.
regenerator, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, they're showing us an actual glimpse." But no, after I watched the trailer like at least 5 more times, this definitely looks like that room as you said, because you can see the literal like the
The shocky thingy.
yeah, I don't know if they had a specific name, but they are definitely here. And then I don't know, man. It's interesting because in the other one there were like TVs and it was like a whole machine, like with a monitor and this and all that.
Yeah.
And this one just kind of looks like a very scary. It looks like a dentist, like a freaking dentist office from hell. That's what it looks like, honestly. And then of course the
The
beautiful merchant's voice.
mercenaries.
Beautiful merchant voice. Mercenaries, I heard this is going to be a free post launch DLC, so we're not going to have it right with the game, which is
That's
fine, you know?
kind of a bummer in a
Yeah.
way. I don't know. I hope that it's. I mean, with how much they stuck true to the rest of the game, I just hope
Mhm.
that they keep as much in it and like don't skimp on the levels. Like, here's only 3 levels. Because I mean, like, Reverse was so disappointing. They postponed that
We'll
for a
see.
whole extra year and then postponed it again. And it was just what we got like 4 or 5 maps. No, we only have 3 maps. And then there's like hardly any characters and enemies. It's just, it was not developed well.
Yeah.
So honestly, they should just merge Reverse into Resident Evil 4 and make it like part of the menu and launch into it.
Hey, I might get some more eyes. Personally, I enjoyed some of the reverse that I played, and then it just kind of got stale because you couldn't play with friends. But maybe with the mercenaries, they will add because I didn't like the re-8 mercenaries to be honest. I didn't really find it that fun. But re4,
Yeah.
hopefully, we will have new things, new characters too. I want to see Luis, Sadler, maybe some enemies like freaking put a regenerator there. Who cares? Make it super fun. Let
Oh
us
yeah.
play with a Verdugo. Let us play with a Novistador. Who cares? Put Ashley in there. Maybe we'll play as like infected Ashley. Anything.
Right.
It'd be fun. Just do
Imagine
it,
trying to
Capcom.
do a no damage Ashley
Yeah.
Mercenaries run. You have to collect all the timers without dying and
So
then wait for the
sick.
timers to run out.
And then we get this scene special demo coming soon. What is
Yeah, and I've
special?
been
What
looking
is special?
everywhere.
I don't know, man. My guess is because you know how they did with like re-aids where they gave like the maiden demo and then they released another demo later on. I don't know which one was
Yeah.
first. I know they released two demos and they were different.
Yeah, I
So
remember
that's what I
7.
think they're gonna do with this.
It'd be, yeah, I could see that because you can't really do like a Resident Evil 7 type where they tried to do like the whole PT thing where you kept updating the demo and then there were new things to do.
Hmm.
Because it's just like, I don't know. I can't see what area of Resident Evil 4 they would do that with, and it's not that type of atmospheric horror. So the Resident Evil 8 demo style would make more sense.
Yeah. Honestly, I would really like two demos. Maybe like a little some of like the co-op gameplay with Luis would be fun. Maybe just like Ashley's section for a special demo, and then later we could get like the village, some of the village with Leon.
Right.
Yeah. I'm just really excited, man. I think this is pretty much it. Yeah. This is the end of the video. Wow. That was a long session, but I mean, we had to dissect it. We had to analyze it. That's just what we do. We love to get all the small details. We don't
Yeah,
want
that's
to
why we love
leave
Resident Evil so much, you
yeah.
know?
We don't want to leave anything unturned.
That is for sure. There's so many things in there too. You
Mhm.
definitely pointed out a handful of things that I was not catching as well. So pretty legit. A lot of different things to look forward to.
Mhm.
And then also, don't forget to check out the Steam page if you want more images from throughout the game as well. There's so many different images to go through. It gives you a different idea of what the villagers look like,
Yep.
screenshots from some of the other videos and all that. So lots of goodies, lots of insight. This last one definitely the most informative of them.
For sure.
There's gonna be a lot to deal with in this.
It's gonna be a crazy game, dude. It's gonna
Oh
be so
yeah.
crazy. Already my game of the year. Maybe just a little I don't know.
If they
Well,
do this right, it's gonna be game of the century because nobody's releasing
Yes,
anything quality these days,
let's
and
go.
this has a good chance of being a hell of an epic game.
Best game of all time. Let's go. Totally
Right,
possible.
right.
Um,
Honestly, I feel like it'll quench the issue of the fact that, the game did not have as much horror element in the original, you know?
mm, yeah, for sure. I'm excited. I'm excited. Very, very excited. A
S
couple of things. I believe on it's either February 27th or February 28th. We're gonna get another Game Informer interview with the director and the producer of Resident Evil 4 Remake because they did one earlier, but it was more like, the goofy rapid fire interview they did. So we can look forward to that again. I'm not sure if it's on the 27th or the 28th. I know it's at the end of this month, though, for sure. And I've also heard some rumors about a possible Resident Evil showcase in the beginning of March. And we're likely going to see maybe more RE4 stuff. We might get a launch trailer and a demo announced. So that's I think that's what they're going to do. And then we might also see some stuff with Resident Evil Death Island.
Death
But maybe
Island,
maybe an
yes, that's
actual
looking
trailer for
interesting
that.
too.
I am very excited. Excited for more content that we're going to be making for you guys, and especially excited for the Re4 remake, and of course Death Island coming really soon here in the summer. We don't have a date yet, but all right, guys. Thank you all for listening and watching to us rumble about a bunch of predictions that are probably not going to come true. But hey, we had fun. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to drop a like and subscribe for more Resident Evil content in the
Request in the
future.
comments if you got
Mhm.
any Resident Evil content you want us to go over to.
For sure, for sure.
Well, until next time, enjoy your Resident Evil games and keep looking forward to more Resident Evil 4 information.